Hi guys, welcome to the Weeb Warriors podcast. I think this is episode 4 now, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's episode 4.
Morgan, how many have you missed?
3. No, 2. Wait. Some.
2. You're in the first one, remember?
Yeah.
It's been that long, she doesn't remember what one she was in.
Oh,
but anyway.
In case you've forgotten, that's what Morgan looks like.
Hey!
Yeah. I can't remember where I put her frame. It's one of these two, and if I'm on the bottom, then F. I can't remember. James, I think you're on the top. I think she's up that way.
I thought I was on the bottom and Morgan was there and you were there.
I'm top left for me.
Who knows? I'll put us anywhere on the screen at the minute just to fuck with us. But anyway.
Moves around.
She's somewhere. I've pointed at one point. But anyway. We're going to start the series that we said we were going to start a long time ago, which is the things to do in. So it's not going to be the normal format. It's going to be us talking about specific towns or things to do or places within Japan. And with this episode, we have started off with Shinjuku, which is pretty much what most people talk about when they say Tokyo, because it's probably most central to all of the towns that make up Tokyo. So is there any particular area of entertainment we want to jump into first? Do we want to go with like tourist spots? Do we want to do like food? Do we want to do...
Well,
I'm good with whatever format.
First thing I just want to mention is if you are planning on going to Tokyo, or you're planning a trip now, my personal recommendation is to go and base yourself in Shinjuku. So as Jake just mentioned, it's central to like everywhere, but it's got a massive train station that will literally get you anywhere you want to go. So
yeah,
if you try and pinpoint yourself as near to Shinjuku Station as you can, then you're pretty much set to get yourself anywhere, wherever that may be. So yeah.
Yeah, the stations, I think, isn't it the biggest in the world? Or second biggest station in the world, I think?
Busiest. It's the busiest train station in the world. Which is mad, and it really is.
Huge. It's huge as well. Like, we went pretty much loads of different places and still didn't explore the whole thing.
Yeah, like, you can get lost in there, and like come out and exit and be like, well, no idea where I am.
Yeah, you can come out the way you think you went in, but end up in a completely different place. Different city, different town.
It's just a huge, like, sprawling train station under the ground. And sometimes, actually, we might as well start with the train station now we're talking about it. Because it's so big, a lot of the time they have like little, we'll call them exhibition things, for usually upcoming anime. I'm sure they do it for other things. In fact, they do, because they did one for the Baby Metal album release. But I know they did one for Jump Force as well, so I guess they do it for everything. Just remember they had the holes in the walls from Goku, Luffy, and Naruto.
Oh, and I saw that.
I know they did something for My Hero as well. And they obviously had the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which, you know, we went on a whole adventure to go and see. So,
oh, unlucky.
Yeah, check out the vlogs for that adventure. It's thrilling. But yeah. So yeah, it's a big ass train station. Super busy. Has cool little exhibits sometimes.
They have shops as well, because it's so big. It's like and even though it's like sort of like on normal train stations to get to and from like our city centre, they have like designer shops in it. Now we have like designer shops and stuff in like what would you call it, like intercity train stations, but they have them in just like their normal train stations. So it's weird. It's weird to see. It's like having a John Lewis at Waterloo train station.
And as we mentioned, it'll get you anywhere, including so the bullet trains from Tokyo leave from Tokyo Station, but Tokyo Station's like 5 minutes on a train from Shinjuku Station, and then you're straight on the bullet train. Everywhere else in Tokyo, you can get there from Shinjuku, so definitely stay by Shinjuku Station. Speaking of Shinjuku, shall we jump into something?
I'd say tourist spots.
Yeah. Can do. So, located quite closely to the station is the Shinjuku National Gardens. And it's a giant ass park with its own, what would you call it, greenhouse?
Yeah, it was like a walk through a greenhouse kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a greenhouse.
Yeah, it's like a flower, like a whole
Which is
flower
gorgeous.
arrangement, and it has like different like flowers and plants and
It does.
wildlife.
It does exhibitions I was reading last night because I've made some notes on everything that we're going to talk about. So I don't know what it was when we went, but they have different exhibitions for different types of plants like throughout the seasons and stuff. So I guess
Okay,
whenever
that's
you
cool.
go, there's going to be different stuff on. But check out the greenhouse. That's new, by the way, because obviously we went last year. That's the first time I've ever seen it. So it never used to be there. I think it's fairly new.
It's gorgeous as well.
Yeah, it's good. We went there. It's good if you're a photographer because there's so many different
Hell yeah.
plants and like flowers.
But the greenhouse
all
was good
sorts.
because it was
It's
like a
good if
little
you're
walkthrough that took you around the
agricultural
whole thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had like a waterfall feature and everything, and like it had what are they called? Like little lily pads, is it?
Lily pads,
Yep.
yeah.
The little
Like a pond with them on, and there's
Yeah.
people working on them.
and there's like staff there that just take care of them, which is weird because I just saw a staff member
I'd love
trying to
to work
like
there.
just gently put one in the water.
Oh yeah, attention to
As we were
detail,
there.
though, innit? Aesthetics.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like this one shouldn't be here. It should be 2 centimeters to the right.
Yeah, which just proves again that like Tokyo's overpopulation.
But they've also
It's
got
just like a job for everyone.
like outside of that greenhouse, it's a massive, massive park.
Just a big open
It's
field
got
as well.
Yeah, there's a little temple in which, by the way, we didn't explore it all, so we're gonna have to go back, Jake.
I got a
Oh,
picture of that though.
no.
If we do want to put a picture in, I got a picture of that little temple thing.
I've got a picture in that from
Oh,
previous
sweet.
years.
Throw that in as well.
Guys, this is a podcast. Let's not throw in loads of images.
Yeah, audio friendly. So yeah, there's a little temple. There's a tea house. Oh yeah, we should cover probably food and drink in places where it's relevant if people plan on going.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
there's a bunch of vendors like fairly near the entrance where you can get like ice creams and sandwiches and like, regular food like that. But there's also a traditional Japanese tea house in there, which will probably, if you're doing like a lap of the park, you'll come across it at some point and they'll probably try and invite you in. So if you're down for some like traditional Japanese tea and all that in a little tea house, then check that out.
That sounds fun.
They've got a big ass koi pond, which is probably like the main attraction.
We saw.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
The
We're
koi are
doing
massive
voiceovers
as
of the
well.
fish.
Love the colour.
I know, it's weird. And they sound weird as well.
Oh, and also probably important to mention there is an entry fee, but it's 200 yen, which is about £1.50. So
Yeah,
it's not
super cheap. Like,
not gonna break the bank.
'cause-
Yeah.
well
Oh,
worth it.
and also if you go in cherry blossom season, they've got a ton of cherry blossom trees in there.
I need to go.
So
Again, good if you're a photographer.
Oh god,
There'll
yeah.
be some banging photos.
or if you're going and you're thinking like, oh, I really want to see some cherry blossoms, head there.
For
You'll
sure.
see it.
During April-ish time.
Yeah.
I know
It's
while
hard
we
to
were there.
judge.
Sorry, go on.
It's hard to judge. Like if someone's aiming to go for cherry blossom season, it's kind of around the first 2 weeks in April, but it might be a little bit before, it might be a little bit after. So you got to aim for that time and then just fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I remember when we went, like part of the park was closed because of the typhoon, wasn't it? Which I assume would be sorted by now, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it got a bit wrecked.
yeah.
it did.
But the water.
It
was,
looked like an
yeah.
overgrown
Yeah, it was.
sort of
It was like post-apocalyptic kind of. It looked
apocalypse.
cool.
Yeah.
Who even knows
It was still cool.
how much of that has been fixed? Because with Corona,
Yeah, they might not have even been able to.
I imagine people aren't even allowed out to work and stuff.
Mm.
I don't know.
I think they're out of lockdown now. No. I think anyway. I could be lying.
Well, places are opening soon. So,
Get
we've
out
been
there.
looking into that. Tourist attractions and stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing about the park is it's got many a fountain. Now, if you're an avid fountain drinker, like myself, you'll find much enjoyment in that park.
It's probably
Spurts.
yeah.
There was a wild one as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Get some
That's
height
the one
on.
I'm on about.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you're a child, or if you're a parent with a child, just be careful with your kid before you turn on the fountain. Because they're going flying if not.
If you're
Oh, yeah.
really, really, really tall, then it's a perfect fountain.
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
Perfect for you. Although you might need to use your foot to turn the tap on. But, you know.
Or have a smaller being turn
If
it
you're
on for you.
Slenderman, you're perfect.
Yeah. Also, depending on when you go, you might encounter D. Morgan Swain with some avid and brilliant tree facts.
One, actually.
with one tree fact.
In fact, I think it was pretty bad as well. And then she quit. So you probably won't encounter.
Wait, what was
That's
the tree
true,
fact? Was it the more rings, the older it is?
It was when you cut it and you see the rings.
Yeah, that's
inside.
how old it is. It's
That's
a
how
good
old it
fact.
is.
Come on.
Yeah.
There were some old
I
trees.
feel like
that's
just,
what prompted that.
I feel like that's general knowledge in this day and age, though.
Yeah.
I knew that when I was like 12.
Okay, well, I was just, you know.
That's why I took over your job, because you were useless at it and I had more tree facts than you.
Fair.
Just gotta say the truth, innit? But anyway, yeah, that's good for photographers.
Mm-hmm.
There is a slight entry fee, but I'd say it's worth it. For
worth
like
it.
£1.50, getting, like, because I took a camera and I think Morgan did as well,
Yeah.
although you might have forgotten it that day, I can't remember. Got some good photos there. I won't put them up, just because this is a podcast. But I'm pretty sure I included them in my vlog, so go and check that out. Mine and James's will be linked in the description.
You spend as much
Morgan
time as you
did
want
one.
in there as well, innit? So you pay like that fee and then you just get to spend all day there if you want.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
There you go.
There's no like time slot on it.
Also, one thing I've just remembered. You get a little... If you buy the ticket for the... Actually, was it there or was that a different park? I think that was a different park. Forget it. Forget it.
Fair enough.
But I will mention it's also a good place for artists if you're an artist. There's plenty of people, plenty of like native Japanese people in there drawing and doing little landscapes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, it's
even
got
if you
a brilliant view.
if you
of
wanted
the
to see
clock
that,
tower.
oh yeah, and we'll get onto the clock tower in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to see people doing art, check it out. Or if you want to go and do art, it's a good place to go.
Yeah, it's got some brilliant views.
It is gorgeous.
As I said, one of them being the Yoyogi clock tower.
Should we just jump into the clock tower since we've mentioned it?
Transition.
Yeah, moving on to the clock tower. Now, I was going to say if you're an avid Kingdom Hearts fan, then this is a spot for you. But I think this is a good piece of architecture anyway. Just if you're
Oh yeah,
into,
I
like,
enjoyed it. I
you know,
don't play Kingdom
I mean,
Hearts. So.
touristy spots and architecture.
Worth
Then it's a good
mentioning the
spot.
Kingdom Hearts thing though.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if you happen to be in Shinjuku, you will notice a clock tower quite commonly, which is in fact the clock tower that is used on the cover art of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's called the Yoyogi Clock Tower. Now, it's not accurate. It's, I think, I can't remember his name. The guy makes Kingdom Hearts. Oh, it's gone. That guy, he did change up a little bit, but, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same clock tower. It's got the most important details there, and it's pretty cool.
And it lights
Doesn't
up.
have Sora
Of course.
sitting on it, but...
Doesn't have. Well, they're not sitting on it in the cover art. They're like in the back. It's just in the background.
Yeah.
They're on some weird building with a gnome or something underneath it. But yeah, me and James went because we're Kingdom Hearts fans and dragged Morgan along with us. And
It was an adventure.
as you can hear, even she enjoyed it. She thought it was a cool clock tower.
On your way to the clock tower, you'll pass a restaurant called Egg Slut as well,
You will.
which is cool.
You will, in fact. Go past Excellent. That's the food area for Yoyogi Clock Tower.
Yeah, Egg Slut.
Yeah, if you like eggs, they only serve
And you're a
egg-based
slut.
foods. If you're a slut for eggs.
Good for
Check it out.
vegetarians.
But also it lights up, so go at night. Go
Yeah.
see it at night.
Yeah,
It's cool at day, but it's much better at night time.
Yeah, go and see
So-
it both times. If you're staying in Shinjuku, you're gonna see it a bunch. So
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
just enjoy it, take it in.
Okay. Next place, probably arcades.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
It's quite a heavy, strong point for Shinjuku because there is quite a lot. But there is a fair few arcades, all of which are quite big. And I'm
Fair
not just
few.
talking like if you're from the UK, not just like a little room of arcade machines. Like they are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like
One
several
was like
floors.
a whole skyscraper.
Yeah.
Yeah. One was like an actual skyscraper. Just in it was arcades. And they had like a floor for each thing. They had like a floor for claw machines. Then they had like playable games. Then they had like what was that mech one called? That was fun.
That was a good game.
There was some
No
like
clue what I was doing.
massive mental like mech arcade machine where you sit in, you have to put a seatbelt in, you've got like a console sort of on your right hand side, and you've got like analogs and pedals that you've got to drive this massive mech with. It was so fun. Couldn't understand the word
was
of it
just
because it was all
button
in
mashing.
Japanese. But it was so fun, and I think we got into an online game at one point with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go very well. I didn't know the controls. Died fairly.
I think we still won, but I think that's because the guy on the end of the row was carrying us the entire time.
Absolutely.
Also,
he was Japanese, so we knew what he was doing.
His friends were there, and they were like watching and obviously judging us, being like, "These idiots, these weebs don't know what to do."
They didn't laugh because they are polite. As we mentioned in the culture section, they are polite. And
but there's also
Westerners.
A floor of photo booths that we wandered into.
There was,
yeah. They have themed floors, so each floor is different styles of games, like claw machines on the bottom, and then, as Jake said, they've got the rhythm games, and then they've got the shooters, and then the top floor of... We should probably mention that we're talking about the Taito Station, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
Taito Station was the one, yeah.
The top floor of that is all photo booths. So,
which is cool.
If you're into photo booths, go for it. Go sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a nice mix of things.
There's another one slightly around the corner, which has a top floor of VR games, which is pretty cool as well. They had just like a few VR setups where you can go in. One was like a haunted room, and you've got to try and like keep your hands on the table. So you've got the controllers, and you've got to try and like keep your hands on the table. It's like, I imagine this weird
I really
entity
wanted
like
to do that
towards you.
I
did, but we couldn't figure out how it worked or if it was even open because there was no one there.
Next time.
It would have been really fun.
But if you go
there's also a VR station in Shinjuku, which we never went to, but if you're into VR, it's worth giving that a Google and check that out.
Also, if anyone's been to them, sorry, go on.
Just on food and drink, just in case you want to eat or drink there. So not the one we're talking about, but some arcades have bars so you can get a drink, which are open later at night. Usually the ones with pachinko in, because the Japanese love their pachinko. So you get a bar and you get some pachinko, you're making cash money. But all of them have like vending machines with like soft drinks in. So there's always some form of food.
And food.
Yeah.
Clip to Morgan winning that Pringles.
Oh yeah, Morgan won a bunch of Pringles.
Packet, yeah.
It was like it was a giant box.
Although it's not as impressive as you think, because she spent more on that than she would have done if she'd have just bought them at the shop.
It was the determination that I had. She had to win it.
Yeah.
To be fair, she's the only one that won anything that year. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like there was a fair few tries, but not as much as I thought there was going to be. I thought we'd spend a lot more time in arcades, but
yeah, we didn't.
There was just that much to do.
To be fair, nothing was really jumping out at me like previous years, where I was like, I want that thing. And I went for it, kind of thing. So I had a couple of goes, but if I didn't win it, I was like, eh.
If you've got like spare change and stuff as well, like, it's worth it.
Yeah. I was more concerned about space, like suitcase space, because I was planning on getting a sword and all bits and bobs, new clothes and stuff. So, but that obviously didn't go through.
Unlucky.
Speaking of swords, though, also in Shinjuku,
these transitions, man,
is the Samurai Museum. Now, the Samurai Museum.
Great little establishment, my ad.
It is strangely a very small establishment, but then inside is some madness. So
it is.
First of all, you can go in and just go to the store. So if you're looking to buy a sword, that's the place to go if you're in Shinjuku. They sell swords in there. They even sell samurai armor as well, and they sell some other stuff, like they got sickles and
like little accessories, shuriken, kunai.
Cool.
But if you're not just looking to buy a sword, but you're into your samurai, they do a guided tour, which is 1,800 yen to get on a tour, which is about 13 quid. And the tour is like, so first of all, you got to take your shoes off. So, if you're one of those people that don't like taking your shoes off, avoid, I guess. But shoes are coming off, and then they do a tour of like samurai history. They'll show you different artworks, they'll show you different armors, they'll talk about the different like shoguns or whatnot that wore said armors, the battles that they'll go through. Sometimes they have like artwork of battles, they'll do them. When I went, at the very end of the tour, and I don't know whether this is a regular thing that always happens. I've mentioned it before, so I'll just briefly go over it.
Yeah.
They had a samurai come in and do a demonstration, and he got like people up, he gave them swords, and he showed them how to like properly hold the sword, how to wield it, how to do that little thing where they shake the blood off and then sheath it again and stuff.
Cool.
So that was pretty cool. And yeah, for 13 quid, I feel like that's worth it. They even also they let us try the armor on as well and take a photo in it, which is pretty sick too. So yeah, if you like samurais or even just like Japanese history, like feudal Japan, go and check that out. Or if you want to buy a weapon, go and check that out. Maybe, actually, don't know. Jake's got a little bit of story about buying a weapon.
I mean, just double check if you can definitely get it shipped to your region. It is kind of hit and miss though. Briefly explain it. It's in the vlog, so go and check out the vlog if you want the full story. I went there with the intention of buying a blade. I did buy one, but if you buy one of the, I think it's 32-inch blades, they've got to ship it for you. They've got to ship it back because you obviously can't fit it in your suitcase. And some countries don't allow weapons in, to be shipped in. James convinced me, half convinced me that he was fine with his, because he got his through in the previous years. Didn't you get one the year before?
Yeah.
Yeah, the year before he got one through, fine, no problems at all. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go for it. Worst case scenario, I'll just see if they'll give me a refund if it doesn't go through or whatever.
That's the year before. That
was the year before one.
Just showing the audience, that's all.
Right there.
It's all your fault.
Wherever he is. So I went in, bought one, got it shipped, and then got a bit excited, left, and then maybe 3 months or something later, James gets his, still no word of mine. So I'm just like, what the hell's going on? And it turns out it got intercepted by the police. I got a letter through the door saying, please don't order swords. If you get any more through, we're going to come to your house, search it, and possibly arrest you.
Jake might have previous though, I don't know. All I'm saying is, I've ordered 2 swords from Japan, and I got them both. Jake ordered one, and he didn't get it, and he got a letter from the police. So I don't know whether this guy's got previous he's not talking about, or what, but that's my story.
I think it's just typical luck, Jake luck. I think it's just my bad luck. I think it's just listen, I'm no Kens, right? I don't go around slapping people with stuff, so
I would probably say avoid getting
one,
because you might not get it. I think it's a bit risky now, isn't it?
Or I got a small one.
If you're 100% convinced that you can get one, by all means. But the word usually will be, do your research first, and your own head be it.
Just take it as a warning, I guess, that you might not get it.
I got a small one.
That, I spoke to the Samurai Museum, briefly, and showed them the receipt, showed them everything, explained the situation. They were nice enough to give me a refund, so big shout out to them guys.
Definitely visit them.
Yep, support them.
Yeah, at least do this tour.
Sick. We didn't do the tour, and I'm gutted. But again, I think that was just a time constraint.
Yes, we nipped in and then went somewhere else, didn't we?
We can do it this year. I'll do it this year. Okay, so another thing quite close to the Samurai Museum. Well, actually, you'll notice it before you even get to the Samurai Museum. Is a giant lizard attack at a hotel. Now, if you don't know what I'm on about, there is a Godzilla hotel. Is it themed, or is it just
themed,
like a normal hotel with it on?
No, it's themed. If you stay in there, they've got Godzilla themed rooms.
Okay, so it's a hotel with Godzilla themed rooms, and of course, the actual hotel itself does have a giant Godzilla come out of it. It's pretty cool. It has its own restaurant in it and everything, and it's got a timeline on the wall of all the different films and series that Godzilla's ever been in or based around.
I think, was it if you buy something from the restaurant or something, you can go out onto the viewing deck? Am I right in saying that? Yeah,
so 2 years ago when I went, it was completely free. So first of all, it's free to go. It's free to get in the hotel and go all the way up to the top floor. You see that mural, the Godzilla mural that Jake was talking about, and then the head is also up there, which you can see from outside, on top of the hotel. It's like he's breaking through it. If you go up to the top floor, you can actually see it. Now, there's a viewing platform there where you can go out and actually, get photos with it and stuff. When I went 2 years ago, it was you just go up and then go out and take photos. But when we went, as Morgan's just said, for whatever reason now, well, I guess because they want to make some money off it, you have to go into the restaurant and buy something, and then they'll let you out. So
it's probably as well because they just don't want people who aren't staying at the hotel to just walk through the restaurant area and just take photos. Like,
they've got some like cool merch and stuff though. Like I noticed t-shirts and things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're into Godzilla, they've got like a ton of merch, and it's probably worth going to the restaurant. I don't know if they got themed food, but to buy something just so you can get out there and take a photo. If you're big into Godzilla, it's definitely worth it.
It's definitely it's cool.
And also go at night because his mouth glows up, like he's shooting the laser.
If he's breathing, breathing fire or shooting the laser. So that's pretty cool. And that can cover the food section for that area as well as their restaurant. Their own restaurant.
Yeah, he also does sponsorship as well. Because one year when I went, he was holding a giant cup of coffee. It was like I can't remember what brand it was, but the cup was branded and everything.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I wish we'd have gone with him just holding a giant cup of coffee. That would have been funny.
Or something.
Yeah.
And the hotel itself, I don't know how much it is to stay there. I'm guessing it's mad expensive because of what it is. But if you Google some of the rooms, they've got like, it's like the wall will be like smashed down and his eye will be like looking in it.
Cool.
Or there's one where his tail is like coming through the wall and it like wraps around the bed and then goes back out the wall again. So they look like pretty sick rooms. But I reckon it's probably mad expensive.
Yeah, sure.
I'd imagine so as well, purely just based on the fact that it's themed.
Yeah. It's right next.
If you're a fan,
it's right next door to a cinema as well, which we never went to. I'm gonna assume all the films are in Japanese. Why wouldn't they be? But you might want to see a movie while you're there.
Yeah, it'd be a cool experience.
It's probably got subtitles, right? If you went and watched the Avengers in Japan, it's probably got. It's probably in English with Japanese subtitles, or is it dubbed? I don't know.
I'd assume English.
I mean, we saw the Will Smith film, didn't we? But the post was in Japanese. I'd assume it's subbed.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'd assume they show the film, but you've got subbed options because that's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do here, isn't it? Is we don't usually play like the language. We just play a subbed version of it. Like if it's in Spanish or something.
Yeah.
I imagine they do the same there. Who knows? So, that's not us telling you to go and expect that. Just, do your research again. Go at your own.
If you do go, let us know as well.
Risk. If you do go, drop us a
comment. Go watch the Avengers.
So we can know.
Yeah, because that'll still be shown.
Still in cinema. Anyway.
Anyone got
next one?
Go on.
This was one of my favourites, even though I keep forgetting about it. It was one of my favourites. The Shinjuku government building. Now, you probably heard that and went, oh, that's boring. Government building. Pfft. What are you talking about? But no, it's fun. It's got a viewing deck, and it's completely free. And it's got a good view. It's brilliant. I want to say it's like one of the tallest buildings in that area, because it's right before all the skyscraper areas, isn't it?
Tall.
But anyway, it's got a good view of the park. It's got a good view of the city. It's got a good view of pretty much everything. You can see like loads of stuff from there. We went during the night and we couldn't see the park.
And it was raining as well.
But we could tell it was the park because there was just a giant pitch black square.
Just a shadow realm.
Yeah, it was literally just the entry to hell. But anyway, it was cool. It was a good day and night, basically, is what we can say.
Yeah, you see all the lights and everything. Like,
it's kind of tricky to get in, though. I don't even remember. We ended up in like some underground section to like find the elevator that actually takes you up. And we even ran into one guy that was lost and couldn't figure out how to get in as well.
Wasn't that just because it was nighttime though and the main building was locked?
I mean, possibly. I don't know. We only went in night. So.
I think this is just speculation, but I think the only reason, so like there's stairs, so you get to the government building, there's like these weird stairs on the side that go down to like an underground sort of area, but it's not quite so underground. And it's got like an entry to the building, which then takes you like to a lift that goes right the way up. I think that was only the way we went because it was like 10 o'clock, so the building was shut. So because I think we asked someone and they said they have to go down this way. And And on our way out, we found someone else after we went back up the stairs who was looking for the entry. But, just look for some stairs down if it's late at night. If it's daytime, I assume you can just use the normal entrance that everyone else is going through.
Never
Obviously,
assume.
check. Yeah, check first.
Did you mention it's free? Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. Completely free. No charge.
So if you want to see a skyline for cheap government building.
Banging photographer.
Yeah.
Tourist spot there.
Food and drink wise, there is a cafe up there, and they sell some like merchandise stuff. But just plan it into your journey, and you won't need to eat everywhere you go. Come on, though.
No.
Yeah, it's true. There's pretty much food and drink everywhere listed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So that was one of my favorite things. But even like in Shinjuku,
Yeah.
even though I keep forgetting about it, but it's because it was free.
Trying to bring in the Kingdom Hearts connection, just in case there's any fans.
Yes. So again, if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, this is another prime spot for you. Now, spoilers, if you haven't finished the game, this is spoilers, but it's also 2020 and it released last year, so what the fuck are you doing? Taking this long. But in the end cutscene, very end cutscene, when Sora somehow teleports into Japan, he's in Shibuya Crossing, and Riku finds Yozora atop of the Shinjuku government building and is walking next to it. So if you want to walk in Riku's
Footsteps.
shoes, go and visit.
Probably footsteps. His shoes will not be there. If you're looking for his shoes, you ain't going
No, I mean, his shoes are huge, so, but they're not.
Take some big feet to fill them.
Take some big feet to fill them. So good luck. But yeah, if you want to follow in his footsteps, go there. It's cool. It's a cool little nod to it as well.
Can I mention probably one of the biggest attractions of Shinjuku?
Yes.
That you guys didn't do? Okay. Well, I'm gonna. The robot restaurant. I feel like it's one of those things that everyone hears about and wants to do regarding Japan. And I got a few little tips that I just want to mention about it, because it's kind of a bitch to get into and to pay for. So first of all, if you've never been to Tokyo before and you're looking to go to the robot restaurant, you might have Googled it and noticed that there are a bunch of websites out there that will do will get you a ticket, so you can buy a ticket now while you're in England or wherever you are, and then you've got it with you for when you go. Them websites are extortionate, and I recommend avoiding them at all costs. If you're dependent on your trip to Japan, if you're going for like a decent chunk of time, like we went for 16 days, you absolutely do not need to buy a ticket in advance. If you're going for like a weekend, then you're probably better off doing that just to guarantee you getting in. But say if you got like even if you got like a week, I reckon that's enough. Once you arrive in Tokyo, if you're staying in a hotel, go straight to the concierge and just ask them to make a reservation for you at the robot restaurant, and then they'll sort that out for you. They'll give you an option of dates, pick a time, and then you can get down there. If you're staying in like an Airbnb, so you might not have a concierge, if you go to the robot restaurant, which is opposite the red light district, you can't miss it. It's a huge ass flashing building with robots outside. If you're facing the entrance to the robot restaurant, if you do a 180 turn around, there's a building behind it. It's got a little robot restaurant sign above it. In there you can buy tickets, and there's a desk where you can make a reservation. So if you go there on your first day, make a reservation, they'll give you dates and times again, and you can book it, and you'll save a bunch of money, because these websites are extortionate. Now, in terms of the money itself, the robot restaurant is very expensive for what it is. It's 8,000 yen entry fee, which is about 60 quid. So it's not cheap. But the show is mad. Like, personally, I think if you go into Japan, it's something you should do and check out at least once. I've been twice now, I think. And I'll probably go third times because I know Jake wants to see it. Yeah. But I mean, it's amazing. The show is definitely amazing, but I personally, in my opinion, it is overpriced. But if you've never done it, you should definitely see it. It's kind of one of them once in a lifetime things. And I know it's called the Robot Restaurant, but the food and drink is not great in there. Well, I mean the drink's beer, right?
Drink.
But it's canned beer or they do canned soft drinks as well. But they have like a robot that'll come out in the intervals of the show with drinks, and you just buy them off them. So it's just like literally just a can. The food, they give you just like bento boxes and stuff, and you have to pay extra. Like when you're booking your ticket, they'll ask you if you want a food ticket as well. In my opinion, just say no. Just plan in food around it and go somewhere else. Go to like a proper restaurant, because the food's not great. It's overpriced. And I know it's called the Robot Restaurant, but it's not a restaurant. You have the tiniest little table, like it's smaller than a school desk that you sit on, and you're really there just to watch the show. And once the show's over, they get everyone out. So you've got to eat while the show's on as well. You can't just like watch the show and then be like, right, I'm going to grab my food. That's not how it works. Don't think of it as a restaurant. Think of it as you go into a show. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say on it. Prepare to pay 60 quid. Avoid the ticket touts in this country, and don't get the food. Is my advice. The other thing I'll say is if you're going with kids, you enter. So I mentioned before, it's opposite the red light district. You enter through the front door, but they take you out through the back door so that they can keep like the flow of people going, get show after show. When you come out, you exit into the red light district. So if that's something you want to avoid, if you've got kids with you, just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Speaking of the food element, as James just said, he doesn't recommend eating there. If you do want to plan food around it, there is, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a nice like little tiny little shop which does like katsu curry, which is just down the road. Is that the one we ate at?
Coco's Curry
House. That was gorgeous, yeah.
Amazing. Does nice katsu curries. It does it with like tons of different things. Does it with pork, does it with chicken,
cheese.
Does it with cheese. Yeah, it does it with cheese as well. Yeah. So if you do want to go there but not pay for the food there, I recommend that place.
But there are like plenty of other food places as well. If like katsu curry is not your thing,
yeah,
there's so many other restaurants.
There's a ton down that like whole area. I think there's like a KFC if you just want something quick as well.
Yep. There's a bunch of food places in the red light district as well, and there's a Korean barbecue in there, and there's a pub called St. James's which does English food. You can get pizzas and hot dogs. Kind of sounds like American food.
I remember we went in there.
Yeah.
We went in there. Well, not for that day, but we went in there. And it was alright. It was a good atmosphere.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. It's also, I don't know if you want to quickly talk about the red light district while we're on it, but it's nothing like, have you ever been to like Amsterdam?
Oh yeah, like that's what I was going to say.
It's nothing like that.
It's not typical red light district.
Yeah, I know I mentioned then about like if you were kids and you come out of the robot restaurant into it, then there's not going to be like prostitutes in the windows and stuff. It's not really how it works. Everything's behind closed doors. So you're not going to see anything anyway.
It's more private.
Yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. And the red light district itself is not all prostitutes. Like there are actually pubs and bars and restaurants along the red light district as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of worth checking
just
out.
Like a
it's got a cool
street,
little gate to it as well.
Yeah.
Which is seen in a lot of like artwork for stuff. That's so distinct and so specific that people use it a lot for photography stuff and for design stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot less shady than it sounds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Although God knows what goes on behind those doors. But
yeah.
I'll leave that up to you, the audience.
Well, God doesn't want to know.
Let us know in the comments.
God doesn't want to know what goes on behind those doors. So, yeah.
Actually, at the bottom of the red light district, there's a massive arcade as well. So, if you're into arcades...
That's the one with the VR stuff.
Yeah, check that out.
That's the one with the VR stuff in it.
Yeah,
can't remember the name of it, unfortunately, but that's the one with the VR stuff. So if you are interested, down the red light district, bottom of the red light district. It's huge. You can't miss it. I think that's pretty much it for most stuff. There is one thing I've written down is if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, this is quite out the way of the other stuff, but there is a Square Enix shop, or it's kind of like a little cafe.
Yeah, it's not, just to be clear, it's not the Square Enix cafe.
It's not the Square Enix cafe.
That's in Akihabara.
But it has a shop which has a cafe in it. So it's much more relaxed. You don't have to like probably sit down at a table. You can just walk in and have a look at some of the stuff they've got for sale. And they've got this cool little back room, which is like Final Fantasy themed. It's like all black metallic tiles, kind of, with like this water feature.
Yeah.
It looks insane. So that's also worth going to. And you've got like the Square Enix food and drink stuff themed there as well. I think you can buy it was either a cookie or a marshmallow version of that like Dragon Quest little blue blob thing. So if you don't like Dragon Quest, you can eat that blue blob.
Sure.
I don't know what you're into.
But
it's cool. They've got some cool stuff there.
Yeah,
they got like the Wayfinders from Kingdom Hearts and stuff.
They also had. Do you remember that back room with all the like the Play Arts figures in?
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
They were
that whole back room with the water feature.
It's worth just going to see that.
They've got like proper fancy like £200 Final Fantasy figures, and they got another thing as well, which they had, which was kind of unseen before, is they had like soundtracks to all their games.
Oh yeah,
so they had like this little station with headphones, and they had like the soundtracks all above on the shelf, and you could listen to the soundtracks through the headphones. And if you liked the music of a certain game or series, you could buy it, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool little hidden gem. It's a cool shaped building as well, because it's just a dome.
Yeah, it was
on like these little stilts.
It's nice.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's been there. Really, I'd never
Should
seen
go
it
back
before.
Just to see if it's changed at all. Like if the Final Fantasy stuff's still the same or not. Because it is out the way of the other stuff that we've mentioned on this list, but it's still only like a 10-15 minute walk, I think, from like the station. So it's worth going to if you're a fan of Square Enix games and series. For sure.
Do you want to talk about the hotel rooms?
Yeah.
As in just our hotel rooms?
Well, in terms of places to stay, my recommendation is to get as close to the train station as possible. I've stayed in 3 different places in Shinjuku, so I guess I can sort of compare. So the first time I went, I stayed in a place called Sunroute Plaza, which is like a minute away from the train station. It was, in terms of the rooms, like all rooms in Tokyo are small, like hotel rooms. You're not, if you're expecting to get like a big room, you're not gonna. But it was enough. It had a double bed in it, and then your basics, like it had a little fridge, bathroom, which is pretty much what every single hotel room has. That's what we had as well.
Yeah, because if you're getting out exploring and stuff, you're not spending much time there anyway.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be. If you're going there expecting to be chilling in the hotel, why are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they were all pretty much the same. I purely base it on how close it is to the train station. I stayed in another place called Nishi Shinjuku My Stays, which was, I reckon, how far away do you reckon we were from the train station?
10-minute walk.
Yeah, so I would say this was about 5 minutes maybe, so it was about halfway. That's probably, if you're still not settled on a hotel, out of the 3 that I've been to, that's probably the worst rooms. Not to say it was bad, but it was like literally a single bed and a toilet, and that was like all that fit in there kind of thing. And then the place we stayed in, which was called the Nishitetsu Inn, it was about 10 minutes away from the train station, but it had the same sort of quality rooms as the Sunroute Plaza. In fact, I would say it was identical, to be honest. So yeah, try and price it up as like, my recommendation is to look where the train station is and then get one as near as possible within your price range. The rooms themselves don't really differ much from my experience from the different hotels. And as Morgan said, it's not that important anyway. You're just going to save yourself time with the walk to the train station. There are little like sub-train stations around Shinjuku that will take you into Shinjuku Station if you're staying further out. But just, if that's what you're doing, bear in mind that you're going to be paying that extra thing on top of every journey that you make.
Yeah.
Look at accessibility as well.
And also,
the walk from the train station to our hotel was like, you had to go upstairs and stuff, so you want to look at like accessibility and things like that as well. If you've got suitcases and things.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually on the first and last day, though, so it's not too much of an issue. But again, if you do struggle with that, then take that into account. But and that's by no means, like, we're saying the rooms are small, but that's by no means, like, claustrophobic. Like, the rooms are, what I felt was right size. Like,
yeah, it's perfect.
I'm someone that I always feel like I have to have a double bed. I can't sleep in a single bed. Like, at this point, I'm used to a double bed. And even I was comfortable with the room. In fact, I think it was perfect size. Because it was too small to, like, get dirty and to mess up. But also wasn't too small that it felt like I was trapped and stuck anywhere. Like, I still felt like I could move around freely and just get anything I wanted into where it needed to be. Like, they had, like, a bed with, like, a built-in backboard, which had, like, all the controls for the TV and stuff and the lights.
And, like, the little seats and a table and everything as well. So
yeah, on the right or left, depending on what style room you get, there's, like, a little couch area with a table in front of it. Then there's a little area where you can put your suitcase, which is where I put mine. And then there's like a weird like little sideboard thing where you can put like your change and your wallet and your phone and stuff when you're
and a mini fridge
resting for the night.
Yeah.
And a mini fridge underneath, yeah.
Great rooms.
And obviously TV on the wall, and the bathroom had like a bath, a sink, and a shower and bath as well. So if you did want to not just have a shower or whatever, you could have a bath as well. It was big enough for a bath, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it wasn't like claustrophobic. It was what I felt was perfect size for what it needed to be.
Yeah.
So it was good.
I agree.
It was weird seeing how high tech it was though, with the whole like control thing, the control panel.
Also,
next to the bed.
I did not touch that.
I did.
The toilet's pretty high tech as well.
I don't think it's safe for YouTube, but I could go into definition of how good those toilets were.
The toilets are great, honestly.
I didn't explore the toilet.
Just to go to the toilet.
So just to clarify, what we're talking about is they have a built-in. Is it called a bidet?
Bidet,
bidet.
It's the typical. You've probably heard of them already if you're a fan of Japan, or if you've just heard of Japan as their toilets, and they've got like a built-in bidet. Now, if you're skeptic on how they work, or if you'd like them or not, try it.
Wow, good.
Great. They were great. They were great. I'll be honest. I was skeptic at first. I was like, I don't know how I'd handle that. But it's just like, is it just going to destroy me when I sit down? Or is it... No, it's fine. You can control the finer details to get exactly what you want. That's all I'll say on that.
Hey, tell us about your bidet experiences in the comments.
Don't do that, please. Don't do that.
Moving swiftly on. Shall we close with like nightlife or like sort of food and drink around the city?
Could do.
I've got a few on food and drink, yeah. I've got a few I can tell.
Do you want to kick it off then, and then I'll...
Sure.
Drop in anything you don't cover.
So, we've been very exotic so far with our food and drink stuff, apart from maybe the Egg Slut restaurant, because I think that's American brand. But, if you are a fan of American chains or, foreign chains, even the sort of typical fast food places, so things like Mackey's, KFC, Burger King, even those places in Japan are way different to what we've got here.
Definitely.
So opposite our hotel, we had a Mackey's sort of counter, and it had like a seating area upstairs, which was a godsend on some of the late nights. Even they were very different in the sense that they've got a different menu, and they've got like a different way of working. So obviously this was just a Mackey's counter, and then upstairs was a seating area if you wanted it, but...
Free Wi-Fi as well, by the way.
Free Wi-Fi. I think it was 24/7. Am I correct in saying?
I mean, we never saw it closed. We were up quite late some nights as well. So
yeah. I think one night we got back at like 11:30 or something, and me and you just went and got a Mackey's there because we were just hungry.
God, I missed the Japanese Mackey's.
And one thing that they had on the menu was a chicken teriyaki burger, which was just, oh my god, it was phenomenal. It was.
I also recommend the melon Fanta, which was phenomenal.
And they had melon Fanta there as a drink as well. So even like the generic sort of restaurants like KFC, Burger King, Mackey's, even they're worth trying if you just fancy like a taste from home, but also want to be a little bit breaking the boundary. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And as well, we had the restaurant underneath our hotel, which was nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, keep an eye out because the restaurants are bloody everywhere. If you like noodles, there's a noodle shop on like every street corner. If you want to go for something a little bit different one night, what I used to do was get Google Maps up and go to the restaurant section and then the what's near me section, and then it'll just pull up and it'll segment it into like Chinese, Italian, whatever you're looking for, and then go and check one of them out because there are thousands. It's probably not even worth going through them because there's just so many. You should just go and explore and go and check them out.
I'd say like every two buildings, like as you're walking past, every 2 buildings was a restaurant or food source of some kind.
Yep. In terms of getting drinks and stuff, a lot of the bars in Tokyo, this is in Tokyo in general, not just Shinjuku, charge a seating charge. So there's a lot of places where you'll have to pay before you even enter. So if you're going around at night and you're just looking for different bars and stuff, be careful. Like, don't just go wandering in because you'll get charged and then you're kind of stuck in there. You might as well have a drink because you've already paid just to sit down. We're English, so we kind of went to the English bars and pubs, which there is no seating charge in. And if you're looking for them, I think they're branded as hub pubs. So you look for the red sign, it says hub. Go to one of them if you're English. If you're looking for the football, they show the football, just not if it's a late kickoff. You ain't getting to see that.
Yeah.
We'll cover that in a different podcast, though.
Unless it's specific to that game that you're hoping to watch, then yeah.
Yeah, there are places to go, but we're going to do a separate podcast on that if you're interested, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you're English and you're just looking for like a more sort of familiar drinking scene, look for the hub pubs. Because they're still small. Every bar in Tokyo is small. It's kind of more like a bar than a pub, but they've tried their best to give it like an English pub vibe. And some of them sell English food as well, like that St. James's in the red light district that sells English food, and there's a couple other places that sell English food. So again, if you're missing like home food or home drinks, keep an eye out for those places.
Yeah, a lot of them are English owned, so they will serve English food and drink, or even like foreign owned. But that one we went in, I can't remember what the name of it was, unfortunately. But the one we went in was still like it didn't. It felt like we were still in Japan, but it also felt like we were at home. Like it felt like a normal English pub. The only thing that was different about it was that everyone around us was Japanese or Asian of some kind, obviously. So it was weird. It was kind of like that in between where it felt like home, but it was also you knew you were on holiday still in Japan.
Yeah, I just like it's a little bit more personal, and it just feels more like an English pub. Like you can go and get your own table and sit and have drinks. In like a regular Japanese bar, it's very much like you see in anime where it's just a bar and you go and sit at the bar and like there's no other room. You can't go away and get your own table. You sat at the bar, you get charged a seating charge, and then every time you finish your drink, they'll be putting another one down because they can see when you finished and they want your money. So I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that kind of system.
It's pressure, yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, if you're on your own, you'll be sat next to someone so you can get talking to them, I guess. But for me, and I imagine for most English people, they prefer that sort of more pub
English
atmosphere,
pub element. Yeah.
So hub pub, that's the way to go.
Hub pub.
Yeah. And I feel like that's pretty much everything on my notes. Don't know if anyone else has got anything they want to
add. No, that's everything on mine, I think.
Oh, the only thing I've not really gone over is the 7-Elevens and the Lawsons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They are pretty much everywhere, like on every street corner. I'm sure everyone knows what a 7-Eleven is. A Lawson is just the Japanese equivalent of that, but they have both. And they're everywhere. So, handy.
Just in case you've been living under a rock, a 7-Eleven is just a convenience store.
Yeah, handy
just
if you just want...
Although, what are you doing if you don't know what that is?
Some snacks or whatever, or you want some melon Fanta. Something like that.
But also
breakfasts. Yeah, we got a bunch of breakfast there just to save time and stuff.
So nice.
Oh, and they'll heat your food up as well. If you get like a cheese toastie, they'll heat it up for you.
That was mad.
Yeah.
Imagine going into a Tesco and they're just going to heat up a panini for you.
So, yeah, that's pretty sick. Cheap, and if you are trying to save time, get a breakfast diner before you get to the train station. That's one way to go. Yeah. But also, if you're an anime fan, I think in both actually, Lawson and 7-Eleven, they sell the weekly jump every week. So, worth picking one of them up just as a souvenir, even if you can't read Japanese, because they're pretty cool.
Yeah, we picked up 2, which were great.
Yeah. Oh, and
they have the original manga in, don't they?
If you messed up, we're going to cover this when we do a Studio Ghibli podcast, but if you messed it up and you didn't manage to get a ticket, you can buy tickets from Lawson. They have a machine there. It's all in Japanese, so good luck, but it can be done. The only thing I'll say is it's very, very difficult because it sells out very fast, Studio Ghibli, so unless you've gone there with like days in advance and you go to a Lawson straight away and try and get one, it's going to be tough. But as a last resort, if you've messed it up or you forgot to get one, have a go, I guess.
Worth a try.
Yeah.
But, don't bank on it.
One more note, and again, we can cover this in a future episode, with 7-Elevens and pretty much most shops, convenience stores, whatever, in Japan, they are sponsored by Pokemon. So they have Pokemon Go stops. Handy. And as James just said, 7-Elevens are everywhere, which means Pokemon Go stops are also everywhere.
Also Mackey's as well, they sponsor them.
Mackey's are sponsored by them as well.
And
I think pretty much most, I'd say more places are sponsored by them than not.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, if you're into Pokemon Go, stops everywhere,
it's
which
like
means
heaven.
Spawns everywhere. So yeah, it's a madness. Get yourself a Gotcha or a Pokeball Plus, and you can catch on a go, spin on a go.
We were sat in the hotel room late at night, and we had one literally opposite us as the Mackey's. I remember many a night just staying up because I was trying to get to sleep and just constantly getting spawns because there was that many. It was cool.
There's actually
being able to just sit off and play Pokemon Go in the room.
There's a spot. It's like, so there's a bunch of arcades. I don't know how to explain this. This one has never been. But as you come out of Shinjuku Station, if you turn right, there's a KFC. You'll see the KFC. Behind the KFC, there's a bunch of arcades. Behind those arcades, there is a spot that's like a dedicated Pokemon Go spot. So there's a bunch of benches. They're white benches with Pokeballs on them, so you can tell it's for Pokemon. There's a vending machine with a Snorlax on it. And there's free Wi-Fi in that space. There's like 3 Pokestops that are load up 24/7. Free Wi-Fi. And a vending machine if you want some food and drink. So if you want to play Pokemon or you want to meet some people that are into Pokemon, especially Pokemon Go, head to that little spot. It's a cool little chill out place. Get some spawns, get some Pokemon. And yeah, check it out if you're into Pokemon Go.
For sure. One more quick topic as well, as James mentioned, vending machines. This is pretty much for everywhere in Japan though. But vending machines are everywhere. Like, even on the outskirts of like towns, they're there. Which is a great element because I am one of those people that I will get thirsty late at night and then the shops will be closed and I'll be like, F in the chat. But in this country, you can just walk down and get a drink from a vending machine. And it's great. But they're pretty much everywhere. So that's not specific to Shinjuku.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say on that, basically. Just wanted to bring that little note up.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered all the big stuff.
Pretty much most of it in Shinjuku. And bear in mind, this is all in Shinjuku, and it's this tiny little town, all within like 10-15 minute walk from each other. And there's we've filled an hour worth of stuff with it.
You haven't even had to spend any money on a train yet, so and you're already having a great time. Isn't it wonderful?
Yay,
Japan.
Yay. So stay tuned for the next episodes because that's when it's going to get real fun. That's when the fun begins.
This one was fun.
Well, that's where the fun continues.
Yeah, there you go.
Do we know what area we're doing next, or is that just going to be a surprise?
It's a surprise.
Stay tuned to find out.
We'll have to find out.
Yep. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Not on it.
Hang on.
Okay.
Do the usual, follow, subscribe, click the bell notification so you know when that next episode comes out.
Yeah, if you've been to Shinjuku as well and you've got any tips or anything, drop them in the comments.
Yeah, if you think there's something that we haven't mentioned that is worth mentioning.
That we've missed.
Or ask questions and we'll try and answer them.
Yep, get down there. Questions, experiences, other attractions we might have missed, slap them down there. Okay. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Janet.
Well done it.
We'll go to bye, friends.